Okay. I would like to call this August the 15th, 2022 regular meeting of the New Philadelphia Board of Education to order. We'll start with our mission statement. The New Philadelphia City Schools will provide all students the opportunity to achieve their highest potential, to become educated, self-sufficient, and responsible citizens. We are committed to providing every student a diverse, quality education within a safe and secure environment through a dedicated, innovative, and highly qualified staff in partnership with parents and the community at large. We gauge our decisions against our mission statement. Please stand and join me for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Please call the roll.
Mr. France?
Present.
Dr. Fuller?
Here.
Mr. Galantine?
Yes.
Mr. McMath?
Here.
Mr. Weaver?
Here.
We have a quorum.
Thank you. Do I have a motion to approve the agenda for this evening's meeting?
So moved.
Mr. Galantine, and a second?
Second.
Dr. Fuller, any additions, deletions, corrections? Please call the roll.
Mr. Galantine?
Yes.
Dr. Fuller?
Yes.
Mr. France?
Yes.
Mr. McMath?
Yes.
Mr. Weaver?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Do I have a motion to approve the minutes of the work session dated July 18th, 2022, and the regular meeting dated July 18th, 2022?
So moved.
Mr. McMath, and a second?
Second.
Mr. Weaver, any discussion, corrections? Please call the roll.
Mr. McMath? Mr. Weaver?
Yes.
Mr. France?
Yes.
Dr. Fuller?
Yes.
Mr. Galantine? Motion carries.
Thank you. Do we have any recognitions this evening?
We do not tonight.
And building reports this evening?
Building reports are going to start in September when we start highlighting our buildings around the district. We'll wait till we get teachers and students back to do that.
There we go. We have Jen Flaherty has signed up for public participation.
Hi, my name is Jennifer Flaherty. I live at 320 Madison Street in Dover, and I am here tonight on behalf of Tusker Challenger Baseball. I just wanted to come and thank New Philly Schools for always supporting Challenger Baseball. We needed a place to go indoors. We just recently had tournaments at the end of July, and we needed a place to go indoors to feed about 2,000 people if it rained. I gave them, I'm horrible with names, especially the new maintenance person,
Mr. Haney.
Mr. Haney, a call. He said that, he would get with Mrs. Montworth and Julie about that. They did. They came up with a contract. I came over. They were going to donate the time that we would use there if we needed to. And then it was very nice that they had a custodian there too. If we needed him, and he was okay if we needed him. He knew that he might not get those hours. So we appreciate that because we got food whether it rained or not rained. So we needed to feed all of those people. So just real quick, our state tournaments is for this whole state of Ohio. We had 365 players this year. So we planned for around 1,300 to 1,500 people. And we fed them lunch and had games and stuff. It was a beautiful weekend. It was nice and it was warm. So we appreciate that God was on our side for that, and Mother Nature. And that I also just wanted to thank New Philly for always supporting us. I also got a hold of the athletic director.
Mr. Fortney.
Mr. Fortney.
And he sent me around 20 football players to put up 115 8-foot tables and 815 chairs. So he sent those to me. He's like, yeah, that sounds like a great idea, So they said that, and then baseball players came on Friday night, and then they also came on Sunday, and they were buddies on our field. So the team across the river sent no one. The comment that was given to me was they didn't want any of their players to get hurt. So I appreciate that they came over and did that because setting up all those tables takes a long time. I also expressed to the baseball coach, Mr. Yep, him. That I was interested in if a spring training in February for his kids to come and train with our kids, just to like a spring training. That's a big deal to them. He was so excited about that and definitely wants to do that. And then I also had talked to him about having his players come out to our games during the summer, just to watch our kids play and just to be there. I told him, I said, sometimes I think that our typical kids are afraid to talk to our special ed kids because they don't know what to talk to them about. You know, they don't know what to say. You know, so if we bring them to baseball and they see what they're doing and they play baseball or a sport, they at least have something in common that they can say, hey, I hear you hit the ball really good. Or, you know, I mean, to try to help with that conversation. And he liked that idea too. So we're going to try to put something in the plans for next year. So I'm so thankful that those coaches are willing to help and play with our kids and they love it. So just wanted to say thank you.
Thank you.
I have to go to the Denver Council meeting, so I have to leave.
Thank you very much.
Thanks.
I play both sides of the fence, sorry. Thank you, guys.
Okay, there's no one else for public participation. We'll move on to the treasurer's report.
Okay, in the folders, you have the July 2022 financial statement, key indicator, the cash flow, the check register, QD and QPA, financial statements, the bank reconciliation. All of our balances are in balance. Keep in mind that July is the first month of the new year, so it's kind of barren when you look at those reports. There's not as much information to review. We also have, and the other thing to keep in mind is in October, we'll have another update on the 5-year forecast. So we're using the May numbers right now. October will be updated again. You also have the MasterCard points and limits in your folder. We have a K-12 tech contract in the amount of $83,325. That is to keep our Chromebooks in good repair. So we pay this company to make sure that the student Chromebooks are functioning. And the tech department sends them to them. They come back and they're ready to go back in the students' hands. The Stark County ESC contract for $2,500 is for our Title III coordination services. We do pay this out of one of our federal funds. We have Sandcastle Education Services. This is a service that's $109 a day. It is for special education students we're required to provide. We received a donation of 12 air purifiers. I believe the superintendent talked about it at the last meeting, valued at $3,059.88 from United Way. And I think she's in the process of having all of those placed in the buildings. And then the next item, item M, is what's called an MSP services agreement. We have students that go to Stark County DD. And for our students that qualify, we do build Medicaid services. So we have to have an agreement with the provider of services to bill for the services because they're our student. I have 2 minor amended appropriations at this point. And just take special note, the special trust fund for 007, that $3,000 is, I needed to appropriate the money so the band could spend the money towards their band uniforms. Because they have money sitting in that Fund 7. And we have a
That was
small.
the bequest to the district?
Say it again?
A bequest to the district?
It was from Barnes.
Gotcha. That did not deplete that fund.
No, he
Okay.
didn't want all of it. He said save it.
Gotcha. Thank you.
And then the amended certificate of estimated revenues. I missed some of our encumbrances.
Sorry, could you say that again? My apologies.
I missed some of our encumbrances when I did the certificate with the county, so the county's requested I do a correction. So those are all correcting the original certificate. And one final student activity budget, we had a line item set up for Quaker Dome baseball, or basketball league. Hasn't been used, it's been inactive since 2015, I believe. So Mr. Fortney has requested that we set it up as a student activity budget for girls' baseball, and they'll be having their own line item now. They'll be able to do fundraisers for their own team, things like that. And with that is everything I have for tonight.
Do I have a motion to approve?
I'll move.
Mr. Galantine, and a second?
I'll second.
Mr. McMath, are there any questions for Julie?
There's going to be, I'm sorry, girls' baseball? Is this high school?
I'm
or-
sorry, I said girls' baseball, it's basketball.
Oh, okay.
I
I was wondering, I have nothing against girls' baseball. I just, my granddaughter played it.
Yeah, no.
But I just
I
didn't
said that
realize.
wrong, it's girls' basketball.
That's
They
right.
don't have a line now?
No,
Really?
no. It's always run, anything that they needed ran through the regular athletic line item.
I'm surprised to
And Tim is
find that
kind
out.
of restructuring some of those, so they're all directed to each individual.
Hmm.
He wants it to be fair, and I think it's a good, we sat down and reviewed it, it's a very good plan.
Sounds like a good plan.
Good.
In case you're curious, those are the air purification units that were donated. You can see one sitting out there. Every elementary will get one for their cafeteria, and then middle school and high school will each get 3 to use in their cafeterias and then in some of their larger spaces, like the lecture hall and the mini gym and auditoriums. So they're supposed to be plug and play and recirculate the air effectively. So.
Good, good.
Anything else? Please call the roll.
Mr. Galantine?
Yes.
Mr. McMath?
Yes.
Mr. France?
Yes.
Dr. Fuller?
Yes.
Mr. Weaver?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Personnel.
Okay, we have 2 retirements. One of them is effective immediately and one of them is effective at the end of the school year. But Mr. Exley, who's been with us for quite a while, wanted to give us plenty of notice of his retirement. So
Very kind of.
appreciate that.
Like actually.
We also have several resignations to list, and the exciting part is that although these were late resignations, if you notice the next section on classified hires, most of those positions have been filled. We are down to just 2 transportation aides and a library aide position, I believe, that are still open. So really excited about that. Making a correction for summer school salary there. Then we have some supplementals that we are hiring. Most of those are bus duty and then some volleyball positions. And then we are starting our list of subs. So the subs on the first page are regular subs who have licenses already. The ones hired with conditional employment, all of those subs will fall under the new substitute flexibility resolution, which doesn't technically go into effect until September 23rd. So then they will be issued their licensure. So that is why they are pulled out separately. Adding a sub bus driver, some classified subs, a few student teachers, and then a whole list of volunteers, both classroom and athletic volunteers for your approval.
Do we have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Mr. McMath? And a second?
Second.
Dr. Fuller? Questions? Please call the roll.
Mr. McMath?
Yes.
Dr. Fuller?
Yes.
Mr. France?
Yes.
Mr. Galantine?
Yes.
Mr. Weaver?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Okay, committee reports.
Business Advisory Council has not met yet, but they should meet here in the next month or so, and so that agenda and minutes will be updated at that point, located on the ESC website.
And from facilities? Track's coming along well?
Track, heard this afternoon, if things go as planned, they will seal the ends tomorrow and stripe it on Wednesday, which was not expected when the striping crew showed up at the end of last week and then turned around without doing anything for reasons still unclear. However, if things go as planned, we should be able to be back on the track again by Friday, and it will be looking great for our first home game. So I will believe it when it happens because they have, again, not been consistent with what they've said they were going to do, but I'm hopeful.
And that certainly is accurate, but at the same time, I think there are reasons that we engage ourselves with companies like Vasco because they're good at what they do, and we want our money's worth at the end of the day. And I think that our experience with Vasco, I realize there may be some frustrations in the district and in the community that they, as you said, came and turned around and went home, but I don't know what the reason was, but I believe it was a good reason, and it's probably going to enhance the longevity of the 300 and how many $1,000s that we just dumped into that, not dumped in, invested in for our kids, into that facility. So I'm confident that with some of the pains that went along with not having 100% access, it was worth it. That's what I'll throw out there.
And this striping crew is highly specialized. There are not other options really that are available. So I am confident that the finished product is going to be worth it, absolutely.
I think I remember us being embarrassed for a few years, many years ago, because the striping crew was incompetent that we originally hired, and we had black paint all over the track.
Really?
Oh, yeah, because they didn't stagger I don't know what the little triangles were all about, but that's part of track.
Exchanges.
Yeah, it was not correct. It was big splotches of paint to help correct that, but anyway.
I'm confident it will look good when they're done.
Stripes or no stripes, it'll be a football game on Friday evening at that stadium.
There will.
Yeah.
There will. So very excited to kick off our football season with a home game here.
Anything else?
Only thing I would say is, as I drive around for the buildings, as school gets ready to start next week, I think they look really good. For what I've been able to see. I know you've been in them and said that they are looking good and clean and lots of new pavement and paint and everything. So, I think they look great.
Our buildings and ground crew has really gone above and beyond this summer.
Yeah.
They really did a nice job.
Terrific.
Great.
I don't think there's anything that requires any sort of vote there. Do we have
For tomorrow is our new teacher orientation day, so we have 14 new teachers coming to us tomorrow, and they spend all day from a new teacher breakfast with the Kiwanis that hosts Dover and Philly's new teachers, and will come back here and fill their heads with as much technology information and money information and curriculum information. They meet with their mentors tomorrow and have a nice lunch. Our administration comes over, talk about goal setting and just talk about kind of our vision and incorporating them into it. Lots of icebreaker stuff. So it's kind of an exciting day to get our new teachers acclimated to the district and, like I said, fill their heads as much as we can so they leave exploding with information. So that's kind of what I've been getting prepped, and so tomorrow will be an exciting day with all of them upstairs.
14, did you have a hard time getting 14 mentors?
Not at all.
Good.
No. And what's interesting is I think this year, I've been in administration for 8 years now. This is probably one of the most experienced first year or new teacher groups I've been around. I don't know about Philly, but we have a lot of experience. We've got, some 3, 4, 5 year, couple of 10 years, I think, teachers. So we don't need mentors for anybody past 4 years. So it's not 14 mentors. It's like 7 or 8. So the mentors are for those teachers going through RESA, which is the new teacher training they have to go through to pass. So we're fortunate to not have to use them all. But we do have a lot of mentors in our district and a lot of good ones. So even the older teachers we're hiring are getting some sort of mentor with their principals, or we've kind of placed them with someone in their subject levels. So lots of support for them.
Very good.
Nice.
Oh, big shout out to Tamara Wells. for setting everything up upstairs. If you would get a chance to go up to the third floor, I went up today and she is the party planner extraordinaire. I mean, she has gifts ready and just, it's amazing. She has gone above and beyond to get this set up for us.
Very good. Anything else for Mr. Williams? Okay, moving right along to the superintendent's report.
I have a handful of policies for the second reading and final adoption. Would like to approve the job description for our new homeless liaison. If you recall, this is a grant-funded position that we're able to offer to our students experiencing homelessness this year, which should provide them with some additional resources, including school supplies, clothing, and even bicycles in some cases. Would like to ask that we approve the resolution establishing the educational requirements for substitute teachers for the 2022 through the 2024 school year, so for the next 2 school years. And then finally approve the MOU with Mount Vernon University for College Credit Plus classes. This just came through this past week.
That's for online classes.
They are online classes, yes.
Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Mr. Weaver, and a second?
I'll second.
Mr. Galantine? Questions for Ms. Wentworth?
Just a question of curiosity on the Mount Vernon University and the College Credit Plus. We've done Hiram in the past and other ones. Does this replace something? Is this an addition to what we have? Would there be some limit to, well, we'd only do so many? Like, why do we add new?
Students have the opportunity to take CCP classes pretty much wherever they would request.
Okay,
We have a new student that is moving to us from out of state.
okay,
This is his intended college
okay.
that he plans to go to, and so he had requested that.
Oh, gotcha. So a student requests something, then we need some
We
MOU with
investigate
them okay.
CCP is set up for students to have the option to go anywhere in Ohio.
Okay.
So
So, I mean, in the future, almost any college or university in the state of Ohio could be
Correct.
something that we're approving some MOU for. Got it.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct. We typically only approve them though if we have students who have
Or
expressed
use
an
them.
interest to use that university.
And then once we have one, do they stay in effect for,
We usually
Infinity
do
or-
them every year
okay? Okay.
because a
Thank you.
lot of times they have the cost embedded in the contract as well, and that has the potential.
Gotcha. You change it anyway.
Does that get promoted out then, that if there are other students that are considering, well, in this case, Mount Vernon, but school that we get associated with, that opportunity's available to them?
I don't know how much they promote it from the counselor's office. Mrs. Claxon, do you have a better
I
idea?
know, I talked to a student who took a tour earlier this week, and it was interesting because they were just talking in general, and they said that they went to the Nazarene Church, and I mentioned that. And that was a college they were interested in attending. So it's more of, I think, those individual conversations that are held with counselors and a student. You know, we don't say like, here's your menu of places you can go, because you may miss something that they're interested in. It's more of you get to know the kid first, and then as they're exploring their options and looking where they want to go, then that tends to kind of be something that comes out in that conversation.
Gotcha.
And that's kind of how it worked with this student, was that he mentioned that's where he wanted to go, and he had explored that.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Thank you.
Anything else? Please call the roll.
Mr. Weaver?
Yes.
Mr. Galantine?
Yes.
Mr. France?
Yes.
Dr. Fuller?
Yes.
Mr. McMath?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Do I have a motion to enter into executive session to consider matters required to be kept confidential with no action to follow?
So moved.
Mr. Weaver, and a second?
A second.
Mr. McMath? Please call the roll.
Mr. Weaver?
Yes.
Mr. McMath?
Yes.
Mr. France?
Yes.
Dr. Fuller?
Yes.
Mr. Galantine?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you.